What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another live stream. If you guys are watching this video for the first time, I do go live Monday through Friday. You guys can feel free to join me and my group as we talk about the stock market. You guys can click that subscribe button, as well as there's a link down in the description that will take you over to our free Facebook group and allow you to network with over 45,000 members. So let's go. I'm gonna try to keep it very simple. Not too sure if you guys followed yesterday's trades. I was trading DGAS. I was swing trading DGAS while I was over there in Houston. And I took another position for a swing trade, and that's going to be UGAS. So if you don't know the difference between those two, they're kind of inverse of one another. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to be breaking down stocks, as well as I'm going to talk about just a very quick little thing about like how to make consistent profit. And that's one of the biggest things that I think I would like a lot of new traders to focus on instead of trying to make the most profit. To learn the importance of consistency. And once they learn how to be consistent and how to make profit, then making more profit can be that much easier. But if you're always going to, make the most and make the most and make the most, then most likely a lot of you are seeing a lot of red days because you guys are risking too much. So I'm going to give you guys a simple breakdown. This is not the only way that you can do it. This is just my approach. I hope it can guide you guys in the right direction. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So let me start sharing my screen. I want to thank you guys, and I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Market's about to open in about 3 minutes, so I thought I'd do a live stream about 5 minutes before the market opens, 5 minutes before after the market opens, and kind of go that way. So in our group chat, let's see. Yeah. Yes, they are. Let's see. Okay, huge drop, 22 down to 3. Wow. Okay, this one had a huge drop, dropping down to 3s. This one has the potential, based on previous trends. This thing, as in if you guys have never traded a stock that sees a huge, pullback like this one, usually they have huge pullbacks, and if they perform the way that we expect them to, then they start to see an upward trend, and it kind of builds that cup and handle. It doesn't really look like it's doing anything right now, though. So not too interested, not too much movement there. So let's continue going on from there. Alrighty. AMDA. Alrighty. Well, don't see much there. Yeah, don't really care about that one. Let's go down the list on this one. And I'm gonna talk to you guys very quickly on how it is that I break down stocks. So I look for someone asked me yesterday, hey Ricky, what is it that you like? What frequency do you look at to know like how far back should you be looking at, right? I look as far back as AKTX. Appreciate it, brother. I look as far back as until I see a previous trend. So right here, I can see that it had a previous resistance at about $13. Hit highs of 14.74 and is now building a new support. If you guys could see, it was seeing a downward trend, and that you could see with this EMA line that it's trying to hold at 13 and trying to come back up. So that's a very common trend. And if you could see the MACD indicator starting to pick up, so is the RSI indicator. It doesn't mean 100% that it will. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up that it looks like it's trying to bounce at $13. Market opens in right now. There we go. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Again, guys, if you guys are trading live, please understand the importance of not jumping in, especially right now because today's Friday. Not jumping into just random stocks for no apparent reason. Wow. ACAS. Let me go ahead and go back to the one that one of our members called out. AKTX. That sounds very familiar. Wow. This one's a runner. Okay, so yesterday had highs of almost $12. Looks like right as the market opened, had a nice little pump. Hit highs of $10.15. It's now pulling back $10. Okay. Wow, right as the market opened, had a nice little pullback to $9.50. There we go, 10:03 opens. So for every 10 cents that AKTS moves, that's 1%. So just to take that in consideration. Wow, really big pullback. This is And this is what we look for. Look, so it's bouncing off the EMA. It's a very common trend. So it's bouncing off. Do you guys see how it's bouncing off this little blue line, acting as a support, bouncing off here around 960, bounce right back, 994, and nope, not holding, trying to hold above the purple VWAP. And then this red VWAP is acting as a resistance. So we can identify this little margin right here from 966 to 1040 as a support and resistance. Realistically, guys, if this makes no sense to you and you guys are just trying to get in, or if you guys are new to trading, and again, I know this isn't going to be the most encouraging thing, but you guys might want to stay away from momentum trading such as this, because if you guys could see within just 2 minutes, this thing went from a spread of 953 to like 1050. So that's huge margin. But as well as if you don't understand when to get in and when to get out, or how to cut losses, or how to lock in profits, then overall the trade's going to be worthless for you. So if you could see right here, the MACD indicator is actually showing the signs of a downward trend. This thing's actually showing that it's actually pulling back. And if it breaks below the support here at 966, then we could expect a bounce here around like 930 based on the golden VWAP line. So right here, wow, that's so nice. Bouncing right off the EMA. Super clean. The reason that I like this one as well, wow, really nice pullback. Bouncing, okay, so this is one that I would take a position on. And please, again, don't take a position based on other people's opinion. Really take a position if you see value in what it is that we're talking about. But the reason that I have a very simple breakdown on how to trade consistent stocks. Do you guys see a trend here? Usually peaks out when it bounces and hits the red VWAP. And usually bounces off the golden VWAP and hits the red VWAP very often, right? So this thing with intraday, yeah, and it's performing just the way that we expected it to. So it bounces off this golden line, hits a resistance off this red line. So this is called VWAP, and I've made a video on this if you guys haven't watched it already. Had a huge pullback at market open, and this is why I say I love chasing red stocks. I either trade one or two things. I wait for huge pullbacks, wait for them to identify the support based on previous trends, just like expected, bounce right at almost like 2290, and is now pushing right through. So the margin from 2294 to the resistance at around 2346, it's about 2.24%. Then you have to think to yourself, is that trade worth taking? 2.34% for a potential loss of not too sure how much this stock is up, but the potential to lose much more. This might not be the best stock to take a position on. Besides that specific point, the reason that I like UVXY at its current position right now, let me just make sure that I verify this. Okay, never mind. What I was going to say was it does have a very common trend that when it sees a pretty nice, decent downward trend, it has a nice little pump. Downward trend, nice little pump up. Downward trend, pump up. Downward trend, pump up. Downward trend, and then we would expect something up to maybe 30 or highs of 25. Understanding that it has a very common trend where it likes to come back up, doesn't hold very long, and then comes back down, comes back up, doesn't hold very long, but it's a consistent downward trend with nice little peaks. It's been showing a sign of a consistent downward trend, and it's showing the sign of breaking above the EMA and then starting to trend back up. But again, it's pretty risky because it's a consistent downward trend. And it's Friday. Do you want to hold over the weekend? You have to take all these things into consideration. So let me go ahead and check out UGAZ. All right, so I'm up on my position on UGAZ, not much. I got filled yesterday at 1163. I called it out in the group if you guys follow us. And I took a position a couple days ago. Ooh, EFTX finally broke at $10. We called this trend out perfectly. Had a huge downward trend. We knew that this one was way oversold, bounced at the $90 support, and then has been really building that cup and is now trending back up, and we'd expect it to eventually make its way back up to 130, 140, but obviously it's going to take a while. But it comes down to, okay, so how to stay consistent. This is my breakdown. I'm more of a technical trader, and it makes sense to me. It's a very simple way of trading, I think so, and it all comes down to risk management. So what I like to look for is I like to look for a trend or a margin of profit. So with EFTX, this is a trend that if you're familiar with trading, you understand. When a stock sees a huge downward trend, especially a very reputable company, because of bad news, that it becomes oversold, right? There's a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people start cutting losses, and it drops to a very low point that's so inexpensive per share for this specific company. Now, with that understanding, it built a support at $90. Regardless of what I believe of this company, I can care less for Equifax, right? I don't care anything really about it. All I care for is when it sees a huge downward trend, for it to identify a support and for it to start showing signs of upward momentum and break above the EMA. So I know that this is now the new support at $90. I know that the resistance is most likely going to be anywhere from, its initial drop here at like 120, maybe 125, or even highs of 140, depending on how long it is that you want to hold a specific stock. Understanding that, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep it on this, huge drop here. This thing is more realistic, I think 110. And all I did was, okay, this was an old support, which is 110. It broke below that, so it becomes a new resistance. Again, I understand that because I understand, previous trends, and that's just something that you have to become familiar with, not something that you learn right away or just by knowing. But it broke that support, it's seen a downward trend, bounces at 90, and is now trending back up. Where is it that it would be a good price to sell? If I wanted to hold it for about a month, I would say anywhere from $90 to $110. It's already trending up, and it's now building a new support at $100. And now what we're going to see most likely is that if it plays according to plan, is it built this support, is trending up, and is now going to have $100 to be the new support and $110 to be the new resistance, instead of the margin that it previously had of bouncing at $90, hitting a resistance at 100, and then coming back down and then hitting resistance at 100 again. Now, again, the old resistance level becomes a new support level, and the old support level becomes a new resistance level. So all I did was I, was scanning through stocks. And this one actually came about because of the news that came about with Equifax and the huge news that they were unfortunately hacked, and they all these social security numbers were stolen, stuff like that. So that's horrible for this specific company. Huge downward trend. We identified a previous trend, which is like the cup and handle, what we were waiting for. Built a support at 90, great. Now it's starting to see upward trends, great. So now I can take a position, and then I can, sell anywhere from like $100, $110, $125, or $120, depending on how long it is that I want to hold it. So what I look for is a good buy point, a good sell point, and a good point to where I would cut my losses if it drops below. I do that every single time before I take a position. The reason that I say this, and I talked about it in my video that I filmed yesterday, and I know it's extremely repetitive, but I can't repeat it enough for our new traders and even for our experienced traders, because you guys are still seeing, I don't care if you guys are seeing more red days than green days, and I don't want to say that I don't care. It doesn't, it wouldn't matter to me if I see more red days than green days, because my red days are so much smaller, and I'm gonna make that clear right now. So teaching a stranger, I made this video yesterday. Or I made it when I was in Houston, and it went into detail about it's just, you guys can look at all the comments, and people really enjoyed the content that I shared. It's a good quality video. It's 30 minutes, and although you guys might be thinking, well, I don't want to spend 30 minutes. That's totally fine. I understand if you guys don't see value in the video, then that's 100% okay. But I break down how to identify potential, how to manage risk, and then pour into the long run of staying consistent. So all I want to encourage you guys is, I don't care if you guys are locking in 1% profit or 100% profit. If you guys can keep your losses smaller than your gains. So if you take 3 red days and they're each, you break down every single stock just like we did. You identify a margin, you understand where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're cutting your losses before you purchase the stock, and you have certain criteria that this stock meets every single time before you buy it. So you're trading quality stocks based on your opinion. Then overall in the long run, even if you do see, because since you're managing your risk, even if you do see, 3 red days at 1 or 2%, right? So you can lose anywhere from like 3% to 6% with those 3 consistent red days. But because every time you trade a stock, you have a higher, profit to risk ratio. So meaning just like we looked for Equifax, it had about a 20% potential profit for a 2 to 3% loss. Therefore, I just need one of those to perform the way that I expected it to, and I'm going to make sure that it meets every single criteria before I take a position. Therefore, even if I take 3 red days, on that 1 green day, when I cut my losses at 1 or 2%, that 1 green day will oversee all the red or all the losses that I saw for that week, because I understand how to manage risk. I know this is such a simple concept. You guys might be thinking, well, this isn't going to work. The numbers make sense. If you can keep your losses smaller than your profits, then overall your account should be staying in the green. But it's when you break your rules, when you don't cut losses, when you start like, just going for stocks that you don't really see value in, but based on other people's opinion, that's when you start breaking these rules. So I'm up. It looks like you guys just broke the resistance at 11.75. So now I'm up a little bit more than 10 cents per share. And because this is $11 stock, I'm up about 1% against something very small, and I took a very small position on it. I took about $2,300 position. I'm gonna add more size when it breaks above $12. I'm gonna add another 2,000, and then another 2,000 when it breaks above $12.50 to $13. And my plan is to sell again. If you guys want to learn or understand my breakdown, I've identified a previous trend, like it bounced here at 11.50. So by bouncing at 11.50, based on previous trends, 11 to 11.50 is a common support. Resistance is anywhere around from 13 to 13.50. Therefore, what I waited for was for a support to set itself, right? I wanted to identify resistance, so I can identify that at 13 to 13.50, and I would cut my losses if it goes below $11. I know where I'm buying, I know where I'm selling, and I know where I'm cutting my losses before I get in. And what I waited for is for it to really identify its support, start showing signs of upward momentum, and then that's when I formulate my plan. I knew the RSI indicator was indicating that it was oversold. That's one of my indicators. The MACD indicator was showing that it was at a buy, and this is something that it's done before very nicely. Again, but you don't want to solely rely on indicators, but it's with the simple understanding that if you can focus on quality stocks and you can manage your risk every single time, guys, every single time, you should be doing much better than a lot of you guys are actually doing. But it's when you force your trades, when you trade with no plan on where you're buying or where you're selling, then you're kind of just shooting in the dark and you're hoping for the best. And I want to encourage new traders that if that's a kind of technique that you're trying out, you do you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you what to trade. No one in TechBot Solutions will ever tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what has led to my success. And although so many more of you within our group lock in sometimes 20 to 30% profit, if you guys can see my trades, even if I'm swing trading, I'm not even day trading much anymore. I'm locking in, I think, more consistent profit than those that sometimes lock in 20% profit, but then another day, because you don't manage your risk, see 10 to 20% losses. What's the point of making 20% profit if you don't know how to manage your risk? You're going to give that up right away. This is not a market where you get lucky. And I want to encourage you guys to understand that. And just like saving money, you save money, you build capital so you can take advantage of more opportunity later on when it presents itself. Just like, growing your account. You're here to grow your account. Don't focus on making the most money, especially if you're just starting out. Get that out of your head. You're here to make consistent profit. Focus on 2 to 3% growth a day and just stick to that. If you're up 2 to 3%, follow with a stop loss and just be consistent. At least that's something that I would do. If you guys don't see value in that, then continue doing what it is that you want to do. I just want to encourage consistent growth. I'm tired of people saying that, oh man, this really isn't working out for me. I keep making all these mistakes. I keep losing money. And I simply ask them, hey, are you cutting your losses? Hey, do you understand where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're gonna be cutting your losses every time before you take a position? Are you looking at trends? Are you really identifying and making sure that you're focused on quality stocks? No, 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 no. Why'd you trade it? Well, because other people were trading and they were making money off of it. If they're making money off of it and then they lock in profits, you're getting in way too late and you're trading based on other people's opinion and you have no plan. Those are all the 3 rules you should not be doing. So it's very simple. It's a very simple understanding of what it is that you need to do to be successful. So yeah, and I'm so sorry. I did not mean for this live stream to be this long. So I'll let you guys continue with your day. I am not going to, again, I'm taking a swing trade position on you guys. I'm not day trading today. I have a couple of things. I'm going to be busy all day. So if you guys have any messages, any questions, please feel free to direct message me within the TechBot Solutions Discord group chat, or feel free to comment down below. There's going to be, like I said, if you guys can't take 30 minutes out of your day, watch yesterday's video, especially if you're a new trader. I can promise you that video goes a lot more into detail about what we talked about today, and I hope that it can guide you guys in your success. We are going to be having a special. If you guys wanted to order, I told you guys to, so we have RPG saying thank you for everything that you do. No, thank you again for being part of the team. For all those that want to order now, because now it's no longer pre-orders, the t-shirts are available. If you guys wanted to order your TechBot Solutions t-shirts, we are going to be having a special today, and then just wait till 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for us to announce what the special is. And it's only going to be a limited amount of people that will be able to take advantage of it. And you do have to be a part of the TechBot Solutions group. So we're going to be posting the link just within the Facebook group or the Discord group chat, and I hope that those that see value in the t-shirts, again, they're not very expensive, you guys can represent, because all the you should see all the posts of the members that have purchased them, and how they like them. It's a really nice fit. You guys might want to buy a size, maybe one size bigger than what you normally are, depending on how it is that how you want your t-shirt to fit. But then there'll be a video that will be out most likely, and then we'll announce it within our groups. All the links are down in the description. If you guys want to follow me and TechBud Solutions in our social media accounts, feel free to make your way over to my YouTube channel. On the right-hand side, I have the TechBuds team. We have Connor, Brad, and Kyle. They're the ones that lead different subgroups within our TechBud Solutions community. So feel free to follow them for more unique content on, momentum trading, OTC stock trading, as well as the buying and reselling of different products, and affiliate marketing as well. So thank you guys again for everything that you guys do. It's Friday. Keep it simple. Don't force a trade. If you don't see value in something, then just enjoy your day, and don't force anything. If you see value in something, formulate a plan, and stick to it. So feel free to share it with us and with the team, and feel free to reach out to anyone within the TechBud Solutions group. You guys can tag admins, or you guys can tag anybody that you see that's helpful within the group, and I'm sure they can guide you guys in the right direction. Again, all the links are down in the description if you guys want to reach out to us. I thank you guys for everything that you guys do. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, and let your passion be what drives in your success. Again, it's nothing special that you need to do to be successful. It's about staying consistent and having a plan that will truly lead you to your success consistently in the long run. So I hope that can guide you guys in the right direction. Take care, team. Let's make sure that we're in the year. I agree now.